Hey everybody, Lawrence here with Dirty Basement Terrain coming at you with another one. Grass tufts. Love them, hate them. You add them to your terrain, you add them to your miniature bases because they look good and they give a little extra something to your pieces. They come in, these packs, commercially available, or there's ways to make your own. But they come in all different colors and sizes, and when you add them, they give just that little extra something. But what if you want something taller? Well, there's not really a readily usable, commercially available product. I want to show, like on here. Now, these are my tabletop quality miniatures, but I want to show you how I make tall grass tufts. I'm going to show you 3 different ways. There are more, but I want to show you the 3 different ways that I make to get tall grass tufts. But before we get to it, I want to give a big thank you to my patrons, Dungeon Matron and Quaro. Your guys' help is greatly appreciated, and I can't thank you enough. All right, guys, let's get to it. Okay, in these first 2 methods, I'm going to be using a product from Woodland Scenics called field grass. It's essentially a really long static grass, though not quite as staticky. What you see, it comes in various colors, and I'm going to be using 5 of them. Now, you see me pulling small bunches of one of the colors, and here you can see that I've got several of the smaller bunches, and I'm adding yet another shade of green to it. And again, I'm using a yellow color. I'm just mixing up the color so when I get to the final product, I don't have a solid color tall grass tuft. And of course, I have little extra bits here and there, so I just kind of put it off to the side. But again, I'm just using all the available colors I have and mixing them up. It's pretty simple. Just lay them out and then just kind of add to the pile more and more and more. Now, what you want to do is you want to mix them up. You don't want like streaks, massive streaks of color, but try and get it blended, as mixed up, pull it apart, put it back together, pull it apart, twist it around. It takes a little practice, but it's doable. Now here I'm actually using some Aleene's tacky glue for the first method of actually making the tufts. Again, I'm mixing it up a bit. I'm going to bend this in half and pinch it, and then dip the bent part into the tacky glue. And then I will twist it and turn it in my fingers. It gets a little messy with glue on your fingers, but you get a nice little tall grass tuft with a little point on the end. And this method is the one I use most commonly. With a little practice, it gets pretty easy. And at least for me, it got really easy to do. Now this is a modified method of something that I learned from Mel, the terrain tutor, of making a lot of tufts at one shot. What I'm doing is I'm basically taking the tufts, the little piles that I made, and I'm spreading it on some popsicle or lolly sticks, whatever you want to call them. But you want to basically lay out a long line of them onto one of the sticks. Now that you got it all laid out, you want to take the other stick, lay on top of it, sandwich the grass in between. Now you can use rubber bands or whatever. I'm just using these binder clips to hold it together, leaving a long section sticking out. Now, this is where I kind of changed up from what I was originally learned on mills. I'm putting sticks on the bottom here. And and I'm using binder clips, clipping it together real quick. And I have, as you can see, 2 sets. Now, I'm off, sorry for the bad camera work here, but I'm actually using some scissors and cutting up in between. And then I'm laying a line of PVA glue out and putting the cut edge, dipping it into the glue, basically making sure that all the glue is along the cut edge of both sections that I just cut. And I'm going to let it sit out overnight so it dries. Now that it's all dry, I have this nice long line of tall field grass that's ready to go. You can just pull off little sections at your need and you have tall field grass tufts. Okay, we've all got these beat up brushes that aren't much use for even terrain painting, but somehow we still keep a hold of them. Well, now I'm going to show you how to actually get a good use out of these beat up brushes. Okay, so this is going to be pretty simple. You want to pull over several bristles of the brush and cut them off and kind of tap it so it's all flat, the cut end. Now I'm going to be using this super glue and baking powder method. Basically, I want to dab a little drop of super glue into the end, the cut end, and then dip that into the baking soda, and it's instantly dry. And you have a grass tuft made from brush bristles. I'm basically going to do this over and over again. You can use regular super glue or gel if you want. Either will work. I like to use the regular super glue for this because it soaks up into the bottom, just the bottom part of the bristles. But again, cut, glue, dip. It's a pretty simple process, and you have a use for all those beat up, nasty looking brushes that I know all of us have. The part about this method is if you don't like the color of the bristles and you want a more green or brown, or you just want to change the color, just grab a wash and use a brush and change the color. It goes on pretty quick and simple. Easy peasy. Okay, now the first set that I showed you how to make, I'm going to apply this to a miniature base here. It's wood, so I am going to have to drill a hole, which is not that hard. And for terrain, I still make a hole, but I just don't drill it. I use like a small nail or a paper clip, or I have a little spike tool that I use. But make a hole, dip the glued end into some PVA. I use Aleene's tacky glue usually, and then once you get that on, just push it into the hole and it's going to hold. I've actually picked terrain up by the grass, by these tall grass tufts, and it works just fine. Now here I'm going to apply some of the second method ones that I showed you to a miniature base here. You can apply it the same way to terrain. I tore off a chunk. I kind of rolled up so the colors kind of blend a little bit better. And on the glued end, I'm adding a little bit of super glue. And I'm trying to get the super glue out. Okay, I got it out. Now I'm just basically placing it on the base where I want it. Hold it for a little bit. And you can grab some spray accelerant if you want to. Or you can use PVA, and you might have to hold it for a little bit, but PVA will also work. And of course here I'm using the bristle bunches that I showed you. These I'm just dipping in to some PVA and I'm attaching it to where I want it on the base. It's that simple, and it works the same as it does for terrain. And these tufts will hold up over time. This pick is from Halloween of 2022, so it's well over a year old at the time of this picture. Maybe dusty, but it looks good. And this is from the Munchkin House build. I use these a lot. And of course, the 7 trolls that I painted. Hey everybody, if you made it this far, it means you made it to the end, and as always, I greatly appreciate it. tall grass tufts like this, these are just the 3 ways that I personally make them most commonly. There are other ways, other materials you can use, but again, these are just the way I use it. Check out like Model Railroaders, Scale Modeler on YouTube. They have tons of videos, and there are other terrain makers out there that do it too. But again, this is just the 3 ways that I use most commonly. But again, guys, if you like the video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more, click subscribe. More are coming. But as always, guys, when you're making your terrain, the only person you got to worry about is you, because it's your terrain.